Hello, I'm Tarvi Martens. I'm dealing with the electronic identity and digital signatures since I was born, I guess. And I'm supposed to tell you about digital signatures today and even more about cross-border acceptance of digital signatures. Well, first of all, few of you have seen actually a live digital signature. Most of people in Europe never seen one. There are a few countries, like Estonia of course, where there is something which I like to call digital signing culture. So that ordinary people have electronic identities and give digital signatures in daily basis. This is not a case in most of countries in Europe and in the world. So it's quite a lead topic, I would say, and therefore I have to explain a little bit first about what is digital signature in the first place. Digital signature is something you create if you have electronic identity, like in form of ID card. Not everyone has ID card, not in every country. There are several countries which have distributed ID cards to their citizens in Europe, like Estonia, Belgium, say, Austria, Spain, most notably. But still, it's an emerging thing in, say, half of European countries. So not everyone has electronic identity. And if you have this ID card, you must use some sort of software to digitally sign a file, or two or three, so that you create something which could be seen as a evidence you create. That you say, yes, I signed this evidence. Well, this evidence could be very different formats, first of all. For example, if you receive some text file, you could have a problem that this text file is not readable by you. It's in some awkward format, and it's not in PDF or Word or something, so you have a conversion problem. But you can convert text files from one format to another, whereas with digital signatures, it is impossible. If you create a digital signature, it encapsulates this byte format, say that you sign something in Word format, like Word document, then it's fixed. You cannot convert it from one text format to another afterwards. That's one problem. So the format issue is huge in digital signatures, and to say there is not a well-known or well-established format in the market, and there are no well-distributed tools around the world which share the knowledge what is digitally signed file. Perhaps one little exception is Adobe Reader or Adobe system, but still it's limited. It's very, very limited. So there is no such phenomena like we have in a Word or text processing world, like having Microsoft Word or some doc format which is shared and universally understood by multitude of software systems. So we have to agree on the format. What is digitally signed file in the first place? There are some standards emerging, and well, there is a bright future ahead. But today, the format issue is still a problem, so that I create the digitally signed file in Estonia using my Estonian ID card, and in general, it's not recognized in the other parts of the world because they don't have tools to handle it. Then again, we have this format issue, and then again, I mentioned something like electronic identity. this comes in various forms and in various formats and with various qualities, which is very crucial for the digital signature. Meaning that, okay, we in Estonia have national ID card with a high quality, security-wise, whereas the electronic identity can come also from, say, from your employer, giving you some sort of card you can use for authenticating to your internal systems and also giving digital signatures. But we don't know the process behind this issuance, how this employer is recognizing you, how is he identifying you, what are the grounds of giving you electronic identities. So the issue of how to set up the quality of electronic identity to the level that it would be recognized and assumed as a high security, and also this knowledge is shared across the countries, across the borders. So we talked about the problems. Well, it's relatively easy for a single country like Estonia, which is small and compact and everyone knows each one, to establish a digital signing culture. We have got 1.3 million people and it's really easy. But when, so we have a working digital signature environment. Everyone knows what is digitally signed file and everyone pretty much can create it. So the result is that after struggling like 1 decade plus, we have this culture in place. Not very fast, though. In order to create such a thing, say, in Europe, it takes a little bit more. There are more people, there are more like different legislations, societies, so on and so forth. So it's a tricky one. But in the latest years, we have seen some serious developments in this area because Europe is recognizing that like electronic identity, digital signing, e-business in general is a very important issue. So first of all, what we have created so far in Europe is that today we know the issuers of electronic identities who actually issue qualified certificates, what we call them. So that if you use this certificate to create the signature, it shall be recognized and it is treated as a good signature. So we know who are giving out those electronic identities and we have some sort of control over them. And also, I mentioned the format problem. Now we are coming close to having the standards which are fixing this kind of format of digitally signed files. There is and will be a sample implementation of those formats so people can use this software to integrate into their systems in order to share a common format of digitally signed files. But as I said, it's emerging, it's not there yet. We have a ADAS regulation, which has been mentioned in other talks, which comes to force in the middle of 2016. And from that one, there is no excuse for any country in Europe to not accept digitally signed documents, provided that it follows the standards which I agreed on European level and follows the guidelines and requirements for issuers of electronic identity, or shall I say, digital certificates. So I guess in few decades, the Europe will be the same happy place as Estonia is now. Thank you.